Welcome to the Craft of Coaching podcast, where we dive into what it truly takes to become a skilled, confident life coach. I'm your host, Kate, head of the CLCC, or Certified Life Coach Collective, an ICF accredited Level 1 coach training program. We combine courage, coaching, and community to offer you more than just a training program, but a life-changing experience where you use your own personal transformation as the learning ground for supporting your clients. On this podcast, we explore how you can use coaching skills to support your clients or expand your own growth, all grounded in evidence-based coaching practices. Learn more about our program and get free resources for becoming a life coach at teamclcc.com. And now, here's today's episode. Hey friends, it is Kate. And if I could just have a moment to have a real life kind of, this is what it's like to be a podcaster. Literally just had to stand here at my desk for several moments waiting for my neighbor to stop vrooming some kind of like classic car that he's fixed up. Yay for him on fixing up the classic car, but just in case any of you are under some illusion that I am tucked away in a professional podcast studio far away from the mere mortals, no. Home office all the way, baby. So let's get into today's episode. That was a little side topic just to show you a little behind the scenes. Today's episode is actually going to be about how to shift your money mindset and support clients to make money breakthroughs. And I feel like this is very timely because as somebody who supports my personal coaching clients with fears that come up for them, money is a big fear. And as someone who supports the coaches in training at the Certified Life Coach Collective at teamclcc.com, money comes up. And in fact, as part of our training, we actually spend time talking about money because sometimes our coaches in training have some money blocks that are going to prevent them from being successful in their businesses. And I want to try to support people around that. So money, it's an emotionally loaded topic. It's not just emotionally loaded from the vantage point of what are you going to charge your clients or what are your clients earning. Really, money is about the whole ecosystem of money. How do you think about money? Let's start with that question. What does money mean or represent to you? What's it for? Because we got to investigate that question if we're going to understand why money is so tangled up with shame and fear and self-worth. You need to shift your money mindset. You also want to support your clients in having money breakthroughs that actually stick. And here's what I know. You cannot coach clients through money blocks if you are secretly stuck in your own. So let's get really real about that. Now, why does money bring up so much stuff for us? And as you're thinking about this, consider questions you might ask your clients for them to investigate their own money stories. Well, I think money feels so personal and so triggering because it touches every part of our nervous systems. It touches safety. It touches control. It touches ideas about freedom. It touches identity as something that we navigate in our society. And even if you are someone who's like, oh, no, I don't have my identity tied up with money. Well, you certainly have people who do look at you and based on how you dress or where you live, they have certain reactions they're going to have to you. So even if you feel really sure that you've divorced your identity and money and they don't connect, you're living in an ecosystem that connects them. And most of us don't get a values-based money education. I mean, really, most of us don't get a money education at all. We just kind of model whatever we saw from our parents. And a lot of what we see from our parents is fear around money or silence or messages of scarcity, or you need to hustle and perform. And that often means for coaches that when it's time to talk about money and a client's relationship to money, as coaches, sometimes we can freeze or shrink or overthink or get worried that it's going to push into giving financial advice. And to me, that's where the real work begins. So first, let's get into some self-coaching work that you can apply to yourself. There are some common money mindset traps that coaches get stuck in. And so let's go over some of the classic ones. One is I can't charge more until I'm more experienced. So that's the coach who is stuck in charging, say, $25 for a session because they're going, I'm not experienced enough. Now, we have had coaches who have come through the CLCC program who start charging $150 or more for coaching sessions while still in training. So I've seen it actually work out that people can charge more, even not having graduated. Sometimes people have a more internalized money mindset trap. And it's things like people like me don't make that kind of money. And that often is tied to family and messages that your family gave you about people who make a lot of money. By the way, I grew up in one of those kinds of families. There were, very working class, struggling for money, and this kind of idea that a narrative that I heard a lot that basically boiled down to rich people were selfish and out of touch with the reality of others. And by all means, there are rich people who are that way. But there are also poor people who are selfish and out of touch with the reality of others, who don't have empathy for other people. Another money mindset trap that coaches have is if I raise my prices, I'll lose clients. And yeah, it's true. If you go from $150 to a session to $5,000 a session, yeah, you probably will. But if you go from $150 to $175, you're probably going to be okay. And then it's greedy to want more. And that often ties into the reality of capitalism as a system that is very big on extraction. And the reality is that you can want more without never necessarily being a manipulator or an extractor. These are all stories, narratives. They are not facts. And if you don't personally examine whatever your money stories are, they will shape every offer, every intro coaching conversation, every financial goal that you set. So how do you start to shift them? Well, first, you need to get really clear on what your stories are. So ask yourself, what did I learn about money growing up? Was it shrouded in secrecy? Was it a situation where there was always plenty of it, but you didn't quite know how it was budgeted or spent? Did you see people spending extravagantly and then suddenly like it would all come crumbling down? Like there would be these windfalls and everything would be great. And then suddenly everything was tight. Was money always a struggle? What were the narratives you were fed about people who have money? What were the narratives you were fed about your responsibility with money? So do that deep exploratory work. But then when it's time to shift your own money mindset, it's time for active practice. And as a coach, you know that active practice has to mean I don't just know some stuff and like kind of walk through life going, oh yeah, I know that about money. I know what I could do or air quotes should do. But if it comes up, maybe I'll do it. No, it's like you actually say to yourself, I am taking on a practice to shift my money mindset because I'm tired of living in this old narrative. I understand that if I'm going to shift something, I've got to apply some work towards shifting it. So first thing you got to do is interrupt the narrative. You've got to notice when you're making money mean something about your worth and interrupt it. So that might mean that maybe you're thinking of money as like, I'm greedy. It's who I'll be, a greedy person if I want more. And this is the moment when you say to yourself a reframe like, I'm going to interrupt this. Hold on a second. Money reflects an exchange. It's not who I am. It's not my identity. This is active practice. And as you would know as a coach from supporting your clients, it is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It is not, oh, I had this realization that I carry some stories around money and now everything's great because I understand that I do that. No, you gotta actively practice it. It will come up again. Some days it will be easier to interrupt than others. Next thing, redefine what enough means. Because the money stories really are often about not enough, not enough, not enough. Oh, I have enough now, but I might not have enough in the future. I have enough now, but what about all those people who don't have enough? I don't have enough now. What am I going to do? These are the fears that we really have around money. And sometimes we rob ourselves of peace even when we do have enough. What if, in fact, you need some time sitting with your nervous system and regulating your nervous system to attune to the fact that you do have enough? You have a roof over your head and your bills are paid. It's okay. You're okay. Or maybe you are like, I'm really struggling with debt. I'm really struggling with the current economic situation. I want to vision into and create for myself something bigger. I'm ready for a breakthrough. Well, here's a question for you. What does financial peace feel like to you? Because sometimes the narrative of capitalism has people hustling for these massive goals that aren't even aligned with what peace would feel like to them. I see ads all the time where people are like, I started to have 100K months. I'm not kidding you, 100K months. And let me tell you something. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Okay? So if you really believe someone's having 100K months, okay, but yeah, not likely. 10K? Okay, I've seen it. I've seen it personally. Multiple years in a row. 100K? I'm sus. I saw one the other day, by the way, that was like $1 million a month. Sure, Jan. Brady Bunch reference there. So what does financial peace feel like to you? And like, just move away from these ads that are like dangling a carrot before you that is like a lottery ticket. Redefine what enough means. Get into financial peace. Get into your nervous system feeling good. Third practice, and this one gets a little salty. It's kind of fun. Practice saying the number out loud. So whether you want to make $500 a month from your coaching or $5,000 a month, or you want to make $5,000 a client, practice saying it without apology. Say it until it feels neutral. Because confidence can come from this practice of the reps, the repetition, not waiting to feel ready. If you're waiting to feel ready to start making more money, you're probably just going to be waiting. You know how this goes because you support clients in this. You know how this goes. So practice saying the number out loud. Now, let's move into how you can coach your clients through some of these money blocks. Money will always come up in some form with your clients. Your clients are going to have fears about investing in themselves, about under-earning, guilt around wanting more, just like you, avoidance around budgeting or pricing. And your job is not to give financial advice. Unless you are a certified financial advisor, and that is, you're following all the appropriate ethical guidelines and disclosures about what you can and can't do in a coaching session. That's an outlier situation. I'm speaking generally to a coach who's not a certified financial planner or advisor of any kind. Your job is not to give financial advice. Your job is to help the client explore their relationship with money. And that is something that we do big time in CLCC. How do we explore the relationship to money to shift it? How can it be a relationship of curiosity and growth rather than judgment and shame? So when a client says, I feel selfish for wanting more money, help them explore it by trying a question like, where did you learn that wanting more meant taking from others? Or How do you define selfish? Or what would change if you viewed money as a tool? Or what happens for you? What do you notice in your body when money is viewed as a verdict about who you are or a label about who you are, that you'd be selfish? And if a client really is avoidant around talking about money, go ahead and ask for that permission. Can we explore what makes this uncomfortable? Are you open to that? And let them lead the way. You're not pushing your clients into spreadsheets. You're helping them name the fear behind the resistance. And, this ties into the ICF Core Competencies. We want to cultivate trust and safety. We want to listen actively. We want to facilitate client growth. We want to evoke awareness. And that means we create that psychological safety so that money shame can be explored. We shine a light on the patterns. We support forward motion with aligned action steps. We listen for the unspoken beliefs that are behind those client narratives. So all of those things are work that really parallels the work we do with ourselves. And I think what you model actually does matter. Clients watch how you relate to money. This is something that I feel acutely aware of, particularly in leading coaches through CLCC. I don't want to avoid a pricing conversation or downplay my value. I'm not going to flinch at my own numbers because I am working with coaches who struggle with those things. I think your energy walks 10 feet in front of you into every room. People feel it. And then if I'm modeling something different, then the people who are working with me will internalize that as normal. I think it's important that we speak openly, transparently, calmly, and ethically about money, because that's what gives other people permission to do the same. And when we talk about marketing in CLCC, that is really the lens we come from. And I think one of the reasons that people say they hate marketing, a lot of coaches are like, I don't like the marketing part. I don't know how I feel about running a business. The reason they feel that way is because they've been exposed to so much slickster marketing. They've been manipulated before. Maybe you invested in that $20,000 coach training program before and you were halfway through it and you're like, this is bullshit. It's $20,000. It's not accredited. And like I'm stuck in a contract now that I can't get out of. And that's one of the reasons why we don't price our CLCC program in that $20,000 range. I think it's unethical to price like that. And I will stand my ground on that. And there are people who will be like, Kate, you have a limiting money mindset. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think it should be a college degree to go through coach training because they're two different things and they have two different sort of places to hold in the marketplace. And maybe that will change, right? In 20 years, maybe inflation and who knows what else in the economy will have me saying something different. But for now, I'm going to stand my ground on this. Also, as a side note, I'm very transparent about why I price the CLCC program the way I do. And part of it is because I believe in the power of coaching and I want the world to have more coaches. I actually disagree with the idea that the market is saturated with coaches because the market is not only coaches who are doing one-on-one practices and group programs, it's also people who are coaching in management, in organizations. It's also people who want coaching skills to parent in an overwhelming and confusing world where our kids are exposed to more stuff than at any other time in human history. There's just a bajillion applications for where coaching skills are relevant. And for that reason, I want more people to have access to it. That's my value. And I stand in that. So, money work is identity work. It's boundary work in the sense that you have to be very aware of the narratives that are not helpful for you or for your clients. And you got to be willing to set a boundary and say, okay, that's an old money belief system. I'm not buying into that anymore. I've shifted. I'm going into a new money belief system. It's healing work and it's vision work. And it's never about dollars or pounds or pesos. It's about what money means to you and your relationship to it or your client's relationship to it. So whether you're navigating your own money mindset or you're holding space for a client's breakthrough, remember this. You are allowed to charge well and be generous. You are allowed to want more for your coaching business, to want to scale it and stay in integrity. You are allowed to change your money story. And CLCC is here to support you as you do. And in fact, we're going to be rolling out new courses, advanced courses for coaches in the coming year. So be sure to head to teamclcc.com/begin, because the people who are on our newsletter, not only do you get access to the resources in the coaching library, but you are also the first to know when we have a new course offering. So here's to you, shifting your money mindset and living abundantly. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Before you go, would you help us out and take a moment to give us a rating in iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening? It really helps us get the word out to other listeners. And before you go today, would you like free resources to support your coaching journey? Whether you're considering becoming a coach or you want advanced coach skills training, access our coaching resource library at teamclcc.com. Again, that's teamclcc.com. Can't wait to connect with you. And again, thanks for listening.